Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a color and chat video, Halloween edition. And we are going to work on the page that you all voted for in this absolutely wonderful coloring book, Halloween by Hanna Karlzon. And it is going to be this page with the frog shop, which is open. Perhaps it's a toad, but I really think it looks like a frog. So let's pretend this is a frog and let's color this page. I have tried different sorts of mediums in Halloween. I have tried dough and Inkton's, dough and Chromaflows, and Caran Pablo pencils. And I want to keep continuing trying out new coloring supplies to try to find out which work best on the paper. So today I'm going to be using my Caran Luminance pencils. So grab your copy of Halloween by Hanna Karlzon and your coloring pencils, and let's get started on this one. So we have a very nice sort of mushroom roof over the shop here, where we have some burning candles and different sorts of potions and even a ghost in bottles, and then we have lots of wonderful pumpkins down here. So why don't we start with the pumpkins, because they are certainly very Halloweenish in style. And if I look at my color family chart here from Color with Claire, you can see that we do have orange, dark cadmium orange, and cornelian as the sort of orange colors we have. So I think that cornelian and orange are two very nice colors for this. Perhaps also a terracotta, perhaps for some shadows, but let's see. So here we have the orange, and we also have the cornelian. So let's begin down here. And they look like they are different sorts of pumpkins. I think that this one looks really nice and orange, like the orange ones you can get. So we begin, of course, with the darkest color, which is the cornelian. Oh, I also thought I would have terracotta. It's always really interesting when I use my Caran because there's so many brown and skin tones, and I can never find them, which colors when I need them. I think that we could use a terracotta to lay down some very dark color right up here. So where have I been for the, well, several past months? I have been working on my new work. All the noise you can hear in the background are my children. Okay, so let's use the orange to get some color down, especially here in the middle. And then some more of this cornelian. Now if you want to, you could also, I sometimes do that, I use a very dark yellow to get some more light into these pumpkins, but that is of course completely up to you. But as I was saying, I have been working in my new job really hard, actually, because we began. I am a online teacher now, and what is that? Well, we develop all of the classes online. So we have this platform, a Moodle platform, and here we upload links to all of the stuff they have to read. So all of the papers and assignments they have to do, we also have developed and put up, and then a lot of students have been enrolled, and they can just sit at home and do it. And some of them have have jobs. Quite a lot of the ones I have, they have full-time jobs, and then they read in their spare time to, get some of the education that they didn't get when they were younger. Or perhaps they have, failed their high school, some of their high school subjects like math or English, for example, or Danish. And then they have a chance now to go again and to take these subjects that they have failed once more, so they can pass them this time, and then they can begin the education that they really want. But I think that almost 85% of the students that I have, and I teach Danish to them, they are full-time workers. So they study in their spare time. And so I think it's really nice to be able to give adults a second chance and help them get the diploma that they need to, take another education or to get an education because they don't have one. So it's really nice to be able to, but they just began, they sort of opened up, and then it just flushed in with students and people who wanted to get the diplomas, and then suddenly I was all alone with 150 Danish students, and I still had to develop all of these classes. So finally I have got a colleague now, so we are 2 now, but it's a huge success, which is really nice, but it has also been a very, very, very busy period of time for me with a lot of overtime. I have actually worked overtime for 7 weeks. So it's almost 2 months of overtime. So I have absolutely not had the time or the energy to film videos. It has, been smaller videos and apart from my member videos, because they go out once a week. Each Saturday I upload a new video for the members on my channel. So it has been really, really hard. So I do like the fact that I have a co-worker, a colleague now in Danish. And this one is carved out. So we will just have to find a very light yellow color. No, I think the lemon yellow is too light. So let's try. What is this? This is the bismuth yellow, but I will have to sharpen it. So let's get some color in here, but we will also have to create some shadow so we can see this better. So right now I am at the end of the autumn holiday. We have an autumn holiday in Denmark in the middle of October, so I have been really, really happy with this 1 week of vacation, which was really vacation for me. So it's been really nice to be able to, relax and especially color again. I have really, really missed coloring. I have absolutely not had the time to color. I have only, as I said, just colored the color alongs that I have for the members of my coloring community here on YouTube, and then hardly have the time to even do body colors. So I have a few more here in October because I knew that I would have time here in my vacation. We will just take the black down here. Oh, really nice. I really like this orange color combo for the pumpkins. But perhaps these aren't they the butternut squash pumpkins? And aren't they another color? I will just have to research a little bit. Ah, butternut squash. Oh yeah. So they are an entirely different color. Okay, we will have to find some other colors for the butternut squash. We actually have a color called butternut. How funny is that? Called light flesh 10%. Well, it really looks like the color, and then some darker one, perhaps the apricot. Let's try that with these here. I think these are the ones, apricot and butternut. Yeah, why not? Oh, have to sharpen it. So guess who has been coloring her arms off here in my autumn vacation? Absolutely me. I have really missed it, and I have, oh my gosh, I have colored so much. I have done all of my body colors. I have 2 body colors here in October with, well, they are both from Instagram, but also YouTubers. Kate from Kate's Coloring Pages, and then of course Maria from Colorful Planner Mother of 3. They have YouTube channels here. So this is the apricot, and Kate and I, we have decided that well, she was looking for some body coloring, and then she mentioned some books, and it's one of the eerie books. I think it was a Romantic Country #3, and I had only done that. I think it was the one I did the double page spread in with the Mermaid Bay earlier this year, and I haven't really colored that much in it, and I would really like to, you know, have a body coloring friend for some of the coloring books I have, because it makes it easier for me to, you know, begin coloring in these coloring books if I have a coloring friend to do so, like with Jamie and the Magical Dragons book. Absolutely wonderful. So I will also research on green colors for these pumpkins, and then we will color the top of them. Okay, I have found some colors that I have never used except for swatching: olive brown and olive brown 50%. So let's use these colors: olive brown and olive brown 50%. I have to say I do really like the way the Luminance pencils sort of behave on the paper. It's really nice to just layer them down and blend them. They work great on this paper. But they usually do in Hanna Karlzon's book. I have certainly used them in Tales from the Witch's Cottage. I think it's the same paper, but they also work really great there. I've made a couple of really nice drawings with them on the paper there. The witch portrait, and the last year's Halloween, the witch with the cauldron page. I did so with the Luminance pencils, and they worked amazingly. So 2 of my favorite green colors, moss green. I don't know what it is about this moss green from the Luminance set. I don't really like the moss green from the Prismacolor set, but this one, I love this one. I absolutely love it. I think this is greatest moss green there has ever been. Well, perhaps we should sharpen it. Just a little bit. Wonderful, wonderful color. Oh yeah, I was talking about I was just wondering what was I talking about? I was talking about my body colors. But it's really nice when you have body colors. You know, you can get to color in books that you perhaps not would otherwise. I think that was it. And then we have the chromium oxide green, also one of my absolutely favorite colors from the Luminance set. So yeah, I have been coloring during my vacation, but otherwise. But I am hoping now that I have gotten a colleague that, you know, we can we have divided all of the students between us. So we still have a lot of students. And the first one, they are going to take their exams here in December. And it's actually quite close. In a matter of 2 months, they have already had their exams. And the first ones are finished. So that will be really exciting. But I do hope that I will be able to color a bit more from a day-to-day basis after this vacation. So let's use the moss green also. Oh yeah, and what else have I been doing? Well, unfortunately, I have been taking a lot of care of my cat. As some of you may remember, she had a, what's it called? Is it called an aneurysm in the brain in the spring? Just a small one, but she was, her sight was affected, and I got her to the vet really quickly. And well, she got over it, but here during the summer she got diabetes. So yes, all cats can get diabetes, and she's now 14 years old. She turned 14 here in September. So I have been learning how to give her injections, and this was really, really, really difficult for me to give her injections. If you hear any clicks, I am just researching online for color inspiration for the last pumpkins. Ah, yes, perhaps like a crown prince pumpkin. Oh yeah, cobalt green and middelverde gris. Cobalt green, isn't this? Yes, this is a cobalt green. And then perhaps a little dark sap green. Not quite sure if this is, no, that was a completely different color. Wrong color. Dark sap green. I mean, if I have one objection about these Luminance pencils, is because it's really difficult. It's a very thin white text printed on the pencils, and it's actually quite difficult to see in some light. You can see this one is very visible, and this one is really visible. So it's really annoying that you can't see it really. But apart from that, they are just great. So let's use the cobalt green and the dark sap green and the middelverde gris for these two pumpkins, and let's make them some sort of a greenish one. So let's start with the dark color. Yeah, but it has been really difficult for me to give her these injections because I hate needles. But I have learned it, and I'm doing it twice a day. And well, I found out because she was beginning to drink a lot of water, and I was afraid it was something to do with her kidneys. Because our old dog, our first boxer dog many years ago, Chico, he got some problems with his kidneys as he grew older. And then we had to get him on some, special diet and so on. But as soon as he got the kidney problems, then he only lived for a few months, and then we had to put him down. He was really old for a boxer. He was almost 11. So, and she, as I said, well, she's just turned 14. So in the beginning, my husband did these injections. He has worked on Novo back in the day, one of his older jobs as an engineer. So he has been, part of developing all of these things for diabetes patients. So he knows his way around needles and stuff. So, but I have learned it too, and it was extremely difficult for me in the beginning, I have to say, because I really don't like needles, and I always look away when I have to, get done some blood tests and so on. Really can't stand needles. It's a really weird and funny fact that I like to embroider where I use needles, sewing needles, not a problem, but needles for injections, I really don't like those. So we just use this middle degree to blend the colors. I might even take a white and just, take the white here and just put some white on top here, just to brighten it up a bit, and also here. So like I said, you can use a white to brighten it up, and you can use a dark yellow to brighten up the pumpkins if you want to. But of course you don't have to. So those were the pumpkins. Okay, so let's tackle another part of the page. What about the mushrooms? So we have quite a few mushrooms up here and a few down here. Now, of course, the easy solution would be just to use red. But I do like to use sort of Halloweenish colors, for the pumpkins and so on. And I think that orange and purple, violet, black and brown are more Halloweenish colors. And we do have some very nice colors here. Violet. This one is more bluish than violet, but violet, ultramarine violet, manganese violet, but that violet is really beautiful. We also have quinacridone purple and ultramarine pink. It's a bit too light, that one, but this one, together with the manganese violet, this could really be a good color combination. Perhaps for some mushrooms, and then the big one up here could be violet. So let's see if we can find these colors. So quinacridone purple, the darker color, and then manganese violet as a bit of a lighter color. So yeah, well, and should we begin with the dark or the light color? I usually begin with the dark color and then the light. I think we will begin the other way around with the light color. Oh, and you can see these absolutely wonderful pencils. Just have to put them down on the paper, and immediately you get the color down nice and smooth. And you can see nice and blendable, and you can just add the darker color here. This is just so wonderful. I wonder what we could do with these sort of stems here. I have a light aubergine. What color is that? Ah, this could actually work if we just did the light aubergine and then on top used the manganese violet. Then we get a nice little blend here. And then perhaps we could just use a little bit of the manganese violet to add a bit of color to the stems here. So wonderful, absolutely wonderful mushrooms. And now we have the big one up here, and if this is going to be violet, then we have to find another color for all of these little ones. So this is the violet. Perhaps I could also blend it out with the ultramarine violet. Well, we will see. Let's just begin now with the violet. Not quite sure if you can hear it, but I have a lot of all of these birds flying south at the moment, just outside my windows. Oh, and you can see the light changing. That is because right now it has been really clouded, but now the sun is coming through the clouds a little bit. But it's really, really autumn here in Denmark right now. The nights are beginning to get really cold. And last week there was ice on my car roof in the morning. And you can also feel it. I am beginning to think about switching from t-shirts to, you know, sweaters and shirts with long sleeves. But I haven't yet. Because I don't want it to get too hot. I think that it's really cold in the morning, and then during the day it gets a bit warmer, especially here inside. Well, inside the house, of course. So so as you can see, I am simply just laying down the color. I might use a darker color for some shadows. So let's leave a little bit of room for another color. Perhaps I should take that really dark purplish bluish color, Bleu de Nîmes, and use it to... Well, I still think it looks a bit bluish, but it could be some sort of, you know, like a violet blue. So I will just lay it down where I want some more shadows, like over here. And perhaps also a little bit over here. So it's a really good thing when I didn't have so much time to do videos that quite a few new coloring books have been published at the moment. So I have been able to make flip-throughs of these new coloring books. Like, for example, the new ones by Emilie Lidehall Øberg, the 2 postcard books, and her Cozy Winter Bliss, which is a cozy coloring book that she has made. And I know for a fact that she is really happy that she's made it, and she's thinking about making more sort of cozy books. And then, of course, it's her great new big coloring book coming out next, I think it's spring or summer in 2026, Fantasy World, with mermaids and all sorts of fantasy creatures. It's a huge book with, I think she wrote somewhere it was 100 drawings. So a really big book filled with all of her wonderful, wonderful drawings. I mean, if you like that style. Because right now I think she's mostly known for the fairy tales and folklore book because it was reprinted. So it's the book I think that most people talk about on YouTube and also partly Instagram actually. But she has done so much more, and those little postcard coloring books, I actually think it's a really good idea. So I have bought them both. And especially the Christmas one, I think I will use it to color and then give as gifts to family and friends during, the Christmas month. And, as can use it on the presents on Christmas Eve. Let's try the Ultramarine Violet. So this is a very, very light color compared to the violet and the other one, but I do think that it's nice to have a little, and you can also color a bit on top if you want to sort of blend it out and make it a little bit lighter. And then you can add just a little bit more color down here because we have a lot of dots, so perhaps it's a bit darker those places. So you can see now it's just a matter of continue to layering and just layer the colors and blending them together. So there's no need for us to waste a lot of time doing that. So I will just move on to the next part. I used the Caran full blender to blend the colors together, and then I took the darkest color, the Bleu de Nimes, to just make the edge a little bit darker and add a little bit of shadow under all of these. Well, not white dots. I don't think I want them white. I think I will do them another color. But anyway, let's move on. And let's make these mushrooms a different color. Perhaps even if we look at the color family chart, I used these colors, the violet, ultramarine, and Bleu de Nimes. So perhaps we should have the ultramarine pink for the mushrooms up here. And here it is, ultramarine pink. Of course, you could also have chosen another color. You could have chosen orange. But I think that we should stick to this color scheme here with the purple, violet colors, and then this sort of ultramarine pink. And again, the dots, well, it's a detail, can always do that. But they are certainly not going to be white. Perhaps black or a dark violet. Okay, and then we will just take the quinacridone purple for the rest. Oh yes, and Maria Trolle has certainly also come out with some new coloring books. Julens Alafaria, or The Colors of Christmas, or whatever the English title will be, but that was just directly translated from the Swedish title. And now her Årstider, Seasons, has just been published yesterday. So you can, of course, figure out that I am filming this on the 17th of October. So these were books I also made flip-throughs of. Well, I haven't from Seasons yet, but by the time this video is out, I probably will have, because then I will have gotten it from iMusic. This is the Crimson Alizarin hue, and I think that these are sort of dried out chilies. So let's give them a very nice red color, red chili peppers, hanging to dry. I mean, they could be any sort of herbs, but I think that chili peppers, they're really strong and hot, so they must be really fitting for such a magic shop that the frog has here. And then we have some lamps, and I do think that we should have some light. And this is also one of the reasons why I haven't used or colored the background, because I want to, what is this color? Medium cadmium yellow. I want to color all of these lights and flames and make reflections and so on before I color the background. Sometimes it's easier, you know, to color a glow around these things before you really color with the other colors. So let's have a little glow with these lamps. And then, of course, these are pumpkin lamps, I think. So let's just give them a very nice bright color with just the orange. And then, of course, we just, because they are lamps, give them a yellow glow and also a yellow glow around them. Oh, these Caran Luminance, they certainly dust a bit on this paper. Anyway, let's just take the, this is the olive brown here, and those were the lamps. Okay, so the hat. I think I will continue with all of these purple-like colors. So I think not the quinacridone purple. This is the light aubergine. Also not the color I was looking for. Ah, the violet. Here it was. I would like this little frog, wizard hat to be purple or violet. Oh, I think it was the wrong color. Was it? No, manganese violet. I think it could actually work with the manganese violet. So we will just have some, and then the ultramarine. So let's blend it with the ultramarine. Oh, I have too many colors on my desk right now. So the violet down here, and because this is probably more in the shadow, so it's darker, let's just color this with the dark color, the Luminance. Add a little bit more of the violet. And then take the ultramarine violet and blend it all together. So there were quite a lot of reactions to Maria Trolle's new book, Julens alla färger, All the Colors of Christmas, and they were not all together, what can we say, positive. I don't know if you read the comments of the flip-throughs that I do. I read them all, but there were some that I thought were perhaps a bit harsh. Well, not to me, because I don't take offense. It's not me who is Maria Trolle. I haven't made the coloring books. I am just showing them on my channel so people can, watch and figure out if they want to buy the coloring books or not. And I also have my own personal opinion, and I always try to be very polite, because whether or not you like the pages that you see, the illustrator has done a lot of work making the coloring pages and, making them look nice. And it's a hard work to be an illustrator, especially in these times, with all of these AI coloring books and all that. So I really support artists and illustrators, human illustrators and artists. And I am also very honest, because I have to admit that the older style that Maria Trolle has, it speaks much more to me. I like her older books much better than I like the newer books. But I also respect Maria and her hard work in making these coloring books. So I will not write comments where I, write that they are boring or that they are almost for children, because they are not really for children. They are made for adults. But, people's styles, they do change. So I, as a content creator on YouTube, I don't take offense personally when people make those remarks about the books that I show. But I do think they also have to consider that these illustrators, they evolve and they change their style. So you may not like it, then don't buy the book. I mean, it's just as simple as that. And my own opinion is that I have bought and I had pre-ordered both of the books. This is the bismuth yellow, in case you were wondering. But I have really thought, since I actually got Shooting Star, Sternfall, that the style that her books are evolving in, it's not really my cup of tea. I really like her older books. I love Twilight Garden and Nightfall and all of these pages where you have the motifs all over the place. And you can say that Hanna Karlzon has also, evolved as an illustrator. And some of her sorry, that was just tiger. Some of her newer coloring books, they perhaps don't have that many faces as her older coloring books had, because some of her older coloring books is just filled with all of these portraits of ladies and stuff. And, you know, there is only so much skin that you want to color. So perhaps I think that some of her older books are really filled with portraits, and perhaps too many. But then I try to, you know, I just try to color the skin in various colors, like green with mermaids or blue and so on. So I do try to vary myself with how I color her drawings. But it is true that a lot of Maria's work, a lot of the drawings, they are really framed in, and they are small and they're not detailed. So they are very simple or simplistic. You could say that. But if that's the way she wants to go, then you would just have to respect it. Instead of you know, saying not that very nice things about her and her books. Of course, you are absolutely entitled to your own opinion, but there's no need to be rude to the illustrators. Well, anyway, this was again the musk green and the chromium oxide green that I used. We also have a sort of cloak here, or cape, or whatever, and I think that we will just stick to what we know works best. So the bleu de Nîmes for shadows. Perhaps also some shadow behind here. So anyway, I have made a decision, because even though I want to support Maria Trolle and her work, I also know that it's a bit difficult for me to keep buying her books and, you know, just to show them off to you and not coloring in them, because I want to use the coloring books that I buy because I want to use them, and my goal is ultimately to finish the coloring books that I have. And it may take some years, but I will get there. And this means that I have decided that this with Seasons will probably be the last time that I buy her book without having seen it. Then I must rely on someone else to do a flip through of it on YouTube. But I probably won't, because, as I said, my personal preference is her older style, and those are the sorts of drawings that I know I will color, and then color the entire coloring book and be finished with it. And I will not do that with the new ones. I will in the Christmas book, of course. There are some of the drawings that I absolutely love, and I will color them. But the entire book, well, that will probably take some years. I mean that Sagan was I have not regretted buying Sagan, or the fairy tales book from her, because these were drawing based on fairy tales, and I really like coloring books where you have these stories behind them, like also fairy tales and folklore, and also you know, Ivy and the Inky Butterfly by Johanna Basford, and so on. So and also the drawings there are a bit different. I mean, Shooting Star, that also got a little bit boring, but that was because it was just, you know, most of it stars and falling stars and all that. So you get a bit bored when you have colored a lot of these drawings. And I know what I'm talking about, because I have actually finished Shooting Star. So I know what it's like to color an entire coloring book. That was absolutely not a green. That was the olive brown. I think I will use the... where is that dark green color I used? It's here. So the dark sap green. But I have decided, as I said, that I would like to see them and see what they and so on, but I will not automatically buy them. And this is mostly because I would really like to have coloring books that I know I will complete. I will not complete Halloween for quite a few years, but now I have a Halloween coloring book for October, for many years to come now. And there are so many lovely drawings that I want to color, and I will not even this year have time to color the ones that I have chosen, especially for this Halloween, to color them because there are too many. So this is okay. I don't mind buying a seasonal coloring book, and then I have it for a long time. But to have a coloring book filled with pages that I know I don't want to color, and perhaps only color 2 or 3 or 4 of them, that is also a waste of money for me. So I can't wait to get Seasons and to show it to you, because I like the idea of coloring books that are seasonal, just like Hanna Karlzon's Seasons, and some other coloring books that are also seasonal. But I think that I will stop buying, or I know that I will stop buying. It will be my last Maria Trolle book, unless she begins to change her style and go back to her old style. Then I will buy, for sure, her coloring books again. As you can see, I have just done the table off camera and also these boxes. For the table, I use Castle Earth and Warm Flesh, 70%. And for these boxes, I use the olive brown and also the brown olive, 50%. The ones I also used here for the pumpkins. And then you can see I have just used the 2 orange colors, the cornelian and the orange, for these small flags down here. So let's continue with the frog. And let's use, just have to find my black one for the eyes. Now I like reusing the colors I have already used, so let's use moss green and the chromium oxide green for this frog. So the chromium oxide green. So I think we will just lay a little bit of shadow there, and then I think that we should use the olive yellow, you know, to add a little bit of a more light color. And then let's use moss green. So, new books, Rita Berman. She has certainly outdone herself, so I have been told. She has done a new book called Das kleine Land, das Abenteuer, The Little Land of Fairy Tales, if you roughly translate it into English. And I think it's already out, because I saw that she got it on Instagram. And I know a couple of the ones that I follow on Instagram, they have also shown that they have gotten the book. I know that my copy was sent the other day from Germany, so I should receive it soon. And then, of course, I will make a flip through of it here. Let's try to use a little bit of spring green to light this frog up a little bit. I think he's a bit too dark. And then, of course, we have Hanna with her newest book, Colorful Wildflowers, which is out sometime in November. I can't remember the date. So I will... Actually, I've never really done a flip through of a Johanna Basford book since the 10-year anniversary of Her Secret Garden. I know there's also a 10-year anniversary of Enchanted Forest out, but since I have it, I thought that perhaps I shouldn't have all of these editions. I do think that perhaps there are a couple of new drawings in it. But anyway, I think that I will make a little flip through of Colorful Wildflowers, and then I have plans of doing some tutorials or something in that book. So our frog is almost ready. I do think that we need to add some shadow to him. I think that perhaps a little bit of some brown castle earth here and there would be all right. And perhaps even a little bit of some black just up here. Okay, that was the frog. What a nice frog here. I actually just want to, I always enhance the white of the eye, so I will just use a white Posca to make sure that the white of the eyes really stand out. Yeah, okay, we have a skeleton head down here, and for that I want to use my primrose. Just have to check. Oh yes, this is the primrose. This is such a nice, very light cream color. So let's use it to give just a little bit of some color to this skeleton head, and then let's use the black. Was it? Oh yes, this was the black to and then I might actually, because this is just black and the background is going to be dark, I might even use this neon yellow Sakura jelly pen. This is a Jelly Roll Moonlight, the neon yellow, to make a little glow in the eyes of this skeleton, to make it a bit more creepy. And then let's finish this roof up here. And we have so much orange down here, so why not bring the orange up here? Let's use the carnelian. To just And now I am always wondering when I have this, is it see-through or is it, you know, solid? Do you have to color the inside or don't you? So I usually choose to color it, but since we can't see this wood up here, I think that I will just use the orange to color it. And then we also have both purple and orange up and down. It brings a bit more coherence to the drawing. So just a little bit of orange color, and then I think that we will add some shadow down here. Okay. And what are these? because the other ones are lights down here, but I have absolutely no idea. I think I will use the terracotta, because that was the third color I used for the pumpkins. Okay, so a bit of shadow. Can take this is the black, and just add a little black. And then you can add the castle. That was the warm earth. So here, the castle earth. On top. So don't be afraid to use the black and add some shadows. It is, after all, a Halloween drawing, and I do believe that my background is going to be very dark. I think that I will use my Neocolor 2s for the background. Just to see how the paper works with Neocolor 2s, but I have a feeling it will work great, because the Derwent Inkpens, they really work nicely on this paper. And then you can work with it to determine how much shadow you want. If you really want to make it extremely dark, then you could take the black and you could go over a lot of this and, you know, really darken it and only leave a little bit light. So, you know, it's a really dark night scene. But I'm not sure it's supposed to be really dark here, that I want it really dark. So now all that is needed to do is this little sign here, and the little beetles, the background, and ground down here, and then all of these bottles and so on. And well, I think that time is running out, so the last thing I will do is just to finish this roof. And as I said, I probably will do something about these. I will use my purple Pentel Sparkle Glitter Pop pen to add the dots on these little mushrooms up here. And then I will use my orange one to, I just have to activate it, to do some dots down here. That was really Halloweeny, and also up here. Thank you so much for watching this color and chat where I colored part of the frog shop. The rest of the drawing you can see at the end of this video, and also in my completed pages video. The next one will be out in the beginning of December with all of the colorings I have done during the autumn months, where you can see all of the colorings I have done in Hanna Karlzon's Halloween book. I hope you enjoyed it and enjoyed this little piece of calm in the midst of a busy Halloween time. I hope that you will like this video. Give it a thumbs up, it really helps my channel. And another thing that could really help my little channel get discovered by more people is if you hype the video. You will find the hype button on your phone down below next to the super thanks button. If you have ideas for more color and chats or other videos on my channel, write them down in the comments. Otherwise, you know that by the time you watch this video, I will probably have released new flip-throughs of the new coloring books I have mentioned. So I hope that you will have a nice day and a wonderful Halloween. Spooky, but not too scary. Take care of yourself until I see you in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.